Very funny, Dave. Switching over to Judge Judy. Oh, how dare you? I don't even want to hear that. What is going on, man? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dino Brickhaven. I am Dino, as always, where I put together Lego sets or fantasy sets or funhouse sets or whatever sets I got to build my Lego city. And right now I'm working on the Lego Haunted House. This is Stream 3. I am picking up right where I left off yesterday. And it's going to be a sci-fi escape. Sci-fi escape night is what it's going to be. So that is what we're going to be doing. Let me pop myself up over here on the old tablet. Hey, Dave Plouffe, Connie Cleary, what's going on? Horror Junkie for Life. Andrea, Harry Scott, hi boy donuts to you, my friend. What is going on? Good to see ya. Black Roses is here. I hope still here. Jody is still here. Evening of Old Time Radio. Hello. Good to see ya. Undead Caesar, what's going on? So listen, I'm making it through pretty darn quickly, pretty darn fast. Hey, Sweet Indigo, good to see ya. The haunted house is looking fantastic. I lowered the camera just a little bit more. I don't know if I lowered it too much because I'd like to get everything in the picture. I think it's good. Hey, D, what is going on? Good to see you. Definitely going to be playing some Escape, but I'm going to be doing all sci-fi tonight. So, got some good stuff lined up. Yeah, we did the pipe organ yesterday, which frickin' looks awesome. I don't know what more to say about that pipe organ. Let me see if I can bring it up here before I start playing any science fiction shows. But you can kind of see as I'm running out of room. I got too much stuff here. I'm keeping the box here just for aesthetics. I've got my iPad here so I can see the chat. Monitor's got the instructions and all that on it. And, hold on. And, oh, there's a belch. Anyways, I'm running out of room once I bring all my Legos. But see the organ right there? Can you see my organ? Wait a second. This is rated PG. Yeah, the organ is pretty cool. Man, if you watched yesterday's stream, you can kind of see it here even in the video above me. Probably one of the coolest little things I've ever built because of the detail in it. Underneath and everything. It looks so darn cool. And all of these levers are unbelievable because when you open this, and I'm trying, you guys. I know I need a better close-up of some of this stuff. I need one from a side view and not just over top. So I'll be working on that. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Sean, what is going on, Sean? About ready to play some science fiction. But inside here, you can see there's a lever on the outside of here. Let me push this. This is all kinds of messed up. Man, see, I think I put this camera, I need to raise it just a little bit more. Okay, just a tad bit more. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's a lever here where if you turn it, it opens these doors in the front and then closes them. It doesn't close completely on the one side. Lego, you should be perfect. But all these gears, as you see here, moving around. I'm showing you guys the best I can, but I am realizing that for builds like this, I am going to need... Oh, what fell off? I am going to need a side camera to show you guys. Okay, that pillar's got to go back there. Oh, come on. What's going on? Because I'm running out of room. It's crowded in here, man. It's me. I'm back. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Red, what's going on? Good to see you, Red. What about one of those small flexible cameras like plumbers use? Oh, no, because it gives it kind of that eye. What's that called? That fisheye effect. It doesn't look good. I tried something off of Amazon for the Lego City to kind of like walk through. It's a scope type. It did not work good at all. So, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. D. Yes, good idea, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't give a good image. A GoPro right here, you know, to show on a different angle, and I could can I fit another video picture frame up in this? I don't think so, but maybe change like to where I can change from the side view and the above view. Anyways, we will figure it out. I will figure it out. Pinhole or lipstick camera, says Harry Scott. We'll get to it. So, but yes, that's what I've got so far, and I am going to continue this build and move on to bag 8 after this. Again, lots of levers and cool stuff on this thing, man. I can't wait to do an in-depth review and show everything real close up. That's all I can say about this right now. So let's get to listening to some old-time radio, some escape, some science fiction, mounted on your hat. You know what? Harry, I've thought of everything, and I thought of like maybe around my neck, pointed downwards. There, you know, I could put a GoPro. I could do that, but just a little stand on the side here. I think pointing towards the side, just so I can turn it around and show. I think that's what I'm going to do. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Dave, turn off Judge Judy right now. Or you know what? Just never bring it up again. I don't even want to think of you watching Judge Judy. Can I just say that? What the heck is Judge Judy? Shouldn't you be grading papers? Come on, man. No, I'm joking, Dave. Listen, if Judge Judy's your thing, go for it. But please, yeah, don't bring it up no more. Eyeglasses, sunglasses, camera. It shows what you see. Oh my God, yeah. What are you talking about? Like some like kind of weird VR? First of all, there's no way I could wear that while I'm building. That would drive me nuts, and we're not at that point yet, I don't think, right? $5,000. Okay, no more Judge Judy. Hey, she might make it into our Sunday rotation. Never, Dave, never. Okay, let me start working on this this haunted house. Hey, tell your friends and neighbors that I'm live. Go ahead. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if this is your first time. Listen, I can post this a million times over at the Late Late Horror Show. I don't think anybody's coming over here. Legos, what is this, kid streaming? You know, I just don't get it. I don't know, but I keep saying we're listening to some old time radio. We're hanging out, but not happening. We're at, let's see, what are we at? Like 413. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. No, you want to talk now? You can. Okay. Here we are. My son called me, and I got to take it. So let's start. While I start to build, let's listen to a Frank Lovejoy classic science fiction, Escape: The Outer Limit. Here we go. While I go ahead and build. Here we go. Thank you all for being here.
Tired of the everyday routine?
Yes. Hold on.
Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure?
Romantic adventure, yes.
Want to get away from it all?
Really quick.
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape with the pilot of an experimental jet rocket aircraft, about to be hurled 40 miles out from the Earth's surface into the limitless boundaries of space, where he receives the most terrible warning in the history of man, from which there is no escape, as Graham Dorr tells it in his thrilling and widely discussed story, The Outer Limit, starring Frank Lovejoy.
25. 0 minus
All right,
25.
men. Settle down. Settle down, men.
Okay, Colonel. Yes, sir.
All of you will want to know why we took you out of whatever warm beds you were in. We got a reason. The RJX-1. Yeah, that's right, the RJX-1. The top secret experimental rocket jet aircraft. We've been babying it, nursing it, staying up nights with it for 16 months now. This morning, Major Westfall is going to wean it. Bill is going to take her out and beat her up to death. I can't impress upon you men how extraordinary this flight is. It's an 8-rocket ship.
8 rockets.
That's what I said, 8 rockets. 8 rockets designed to take man into areas of space that have never been explored before. And at a rate of speed to which no pilot has yet been subjected. Some of you men have already flown many times the speed of sound, so I don't have to tell you very much. Joe?
Yes, Colonel?
You'll lead the F-86s. You and the other 3 jet boys will be Bill's chase planes. We want observation at 35,000 feet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here's how it plays. Pull the curtains on the map, will you, Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
You see it circled here, your rendezvous point. We designate it Point X. It's roughly over Boulder Dam. 0 hour is 0900. Joe, you and your jets will take off at 0 minus 15. You got that?
Yes, sir.
You F-86s will make conventional climbs to 30,000 feet. Rendezvous at Point X and call into me at control at 35,000 feet. Right, Joe?
That cuts it, Colonel.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Not quite. Now we hear about the weather. Pete?
Yes, Colonel. Well, the weather's very pretty out, boys. All clear, ceiling unlimited. Winds aloft at 10,000, 80 mph, 25,000, 140 mph, 40,000, 150 mph. Estimated temperature 45 below at 40,000 feet. There's some scattered clouds northwest of Point X at 15,000 feet. Stratus at 30,000 feet, 30 miles east of Point X, east. We expect no change for 3 hours. That's it, sir.
Okay, Pete. Joe, you and your boys go unwrap your F-86s. Have a nice time.
Yes, sir. Come on, boys.
Major Westfall. Major Westfall, stick around. I want to talk to you.
Okay, Hank.
How you feeling, Bill?
Why? You worried, Hank? Don't worry.
Look, Bill, you've got only 10 minutes of rocket fuel. Get rid of those jets before you fire the rockets. Fire only one
rocket at a time.
Yeah, that's right. Now, look, I'll be listening in on the public address at control. I won't bother you until you're airborne. It'll be between you and the tower until then.
All right, don't worry, Hank. I'm going to fly that baby higher and faster than anybody ever did before, just like you said. I'm going to take it up and I'm going to bring it back. And then you and I'll have dinner together.
0 minus 3. 0 minus...
Good morning, Colonel.
Mr. Hargrove, you'll be here at the control with me?
It's all right with you, Colonel?
I wouldn't have it any other way. You've checked the communications equipment, Sergeant?
Yes, sir. Major Westfall's been assigned a special radio frequency of 3970.
Good. You'll take care of it, Sergeant. We don't want it to poop out or anything like that, do we?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Hargrove, I got a thing on my mind. That boy on the plane you geniuses designed, he's my best boy.
It's our best plane, Colonel.
It better be. Now it's your turn. What do you got on your mind?
Everything's in proper order, Colonel. Recording equipment, the television cameras in the cockpit, everything. Every known scientific device, even some unknown. They've been very
We're talking about a man, Hargrove. That's all I really want to get back out of this. What about the man?
There may be one difficulty.
Tell me about it. I'd like to know.
The takeoff, with all that load. The jets, the rockets, all at maximum fuel capacity. It's never been tested that way before.
Go on, Mr. Hargrove.
Well, it's just that Major Westfall has only 6,000 feet to get his ship airborne. If he accelerates from 0 to 160 miles per hour in 6,000 feet, he should be airborne in 7 seconds.
7 seconds, that makes 0 plus G.
Yes, Colonel. Beyond 0 plus G, well, beyond that, we don't know. We just don't know.
Thanks. Thanks for everything, Mr. Hargrove. Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Flip your switch on Major Westfall. I hear he's got a swell program. Flip them all, will you, Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
RJX1 to tower. Any change in weather?
Tower to RJX1. Barometer reading 29.7. Set your altimeter accordingly.
Roger.
Wind 15 miles from south. Take off runway 27. Runway 27.
Got it.
0 minus 130. 0
RJX1 to control.
130.
Over.
Control to RJX1. Go ahead.
This is just for you.
Okay, yeah, I had to take a phone call there. It was very important. So, yes, we are listening to Escape the Outer Limit. Escapes. We're doing some sci-fi. So, hello, the car. I didn't know my phone was in view there. That was kind of odd to see that. Oh, jeez. Got to watch where I put my phone. Anyways, too much clutter here. Hey, Kathy, what is going on? Good to see you. Also, what show is that? I'm hearing it in the stream. Yep. It's a sci-fi classic, Escape, The Outer Limit with Frank Lovejoy. The Carl you know and love. What is going on? Good to hear you and see you guys. Not to hear you. I see you guys. But, yeah, okay, now I'm on to starting to build the rest of the haunted house here. Again, lots of cool stuff. Yeah, so here we go. Back to Escape the Outer Limits, and I'm going to continue the build. Good to see you, Kathy, and everybody else. Carl, and Saslovsky, Koslov. Good to see you. Hopefully you guys are subscribed and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, Hank. Cabin pressure, okay. Oxygen pressure, okay.
All right. Get off the dime, kid.
Take a pill, Hank. You'll need it to settle your stomach.
0 minus 1. 0
RJX1 to
minus
crew
1.
chief, over.
Crew chief to RJX1. Go ahead.
I'm ready to fire.
Hold it. Okay, all set to fire.
Clear?
Clear.
Starting right, Jet. Starting left, Jet.
0 minus 30
Tower to
seconds.
RJX1.
0
Over.
minus 30 seconds.
RJX1 to tower, go ahead.
Western Airlines Convair reported over Ventura.
Got it.
Eastbound Constellation at 17,000 over Salt Lake.
Roger.
Western Airlines DC-4 on Base Lake at 1,000 over Burbank. The rest of the air is yours.
Thank you so much.
0 minus 10.
RJX1 to tower. Ready for
8,
takeoff.
Tower to
7,
RJX1.
6,
Clear for takeoff.
5,
Good luck, Bill.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
He's rolling.
0 plus
He's rolling.
B, C, D, E,
Bill,
F,
lift it.
G,
Lift it.
H.
Lift it, Billy. He made it. Bill made it, Mr. Hargrove.
RJX1 to control. RJX1 to control. Come in.
Control to RJX1. Go ahead.
Everything's great, Hank. It's a doll, baby.
Hey, you must have been kidding with that takeoff, weren't you?
It took that long to get off. That makes it a takeoff.
How fast are you climbing, kid?
1,700 a minute, airspeed 550.
Retract your landing gear. It'll help.
Whoops, sorry.
Call me at 20,000.
Heading is 87. Everything is real good. Come in, Hank.
How do you feel?
I like it here.
Pressure okay?
Okay.
F-86 leader to control. F-86 to control. Come in.
Control to F-86 leader. Go ahead.
F-86 observing RJX-1. He's really tearing, Colonel. Over point exit 35,000.
On schedule, Joe?
On schedule.
RJX-1 to control. RJX-1 to control, come in.
Control to RJX-1. Go ahead, Bill.
40,000 feet, Hank.
Still a down, baby?
Still is. Ready to pressurize. Can you hear me okay, Hank?
Coming in fine.
Pressurized. Ready to prime rocket system in 5 seconds. Primed. Dropping right jet. Dropping left jet. All clear.
Good luck, Bill.
Firing number 1 rocket. Fired. Oh! Taken back. Firing number 2 rocket. Fired. Hey, Hank!
Okay, Bill, what is it? Bill! Bill, are you receiving me? Control to RJX-1. Come in. Come in, RJX-1. Hello, Bill. Come in. Control to F-86 leader. Control to F-86 leader. Come in.
F-86 leader to control. Go ahead.
What about it, Joe?
F-86 observing RJX-1. RJX-1 at approximately 60,000 feet, maintaining a heading of north-northwest. I can barely make him, Colonel.
Try calling.
Okay. F-86 leader to RJX-1. F-86 to RJX-1, come in. Come in, RJX-1, come in.
Mr. Hargrove.
F-86 to RJX-1.
Share it with me, Mr. Hargrove.
F-86 to
Sit
RJX-1.
here and run your
come
fingers
in.
through your hair and
Come in, RJX-1.
wait and think about it and share it with me.
F-86 to RJX-1. F-86 leader to control. F-86 leader to control, come in.
Please answer
Go ahead,
him, my
F-86
gosh.
leader.
We've lost him, Colonel.
Stay up there, Joe, for as long as you can.
What do we do now, Colonel?
I just told you, Mr. Hargrove. We wait. You and me, we wait.
We've lost him, Colonel.
You haven't lost me. I can hear you, Joe.
Stay up there, Joe, for as long as you can.
Hello? 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 I'll try another frequency, Joe. RJX-1 to F-86. Can you make me?
I'm flubbering some stuff up here. I'm messing some stuff
RJX-1
up.
to F-86. Come in. Come
Answer him already.
in. No good, huh? I'll switch back to Channel Charlie. I still can't get you, Joe. I'll keep sending. Firing number 8 rocket. Fired. Oh, Oh, brother. RJX-1 to all you ships at sea, to all you people anywhere. This is Bill Westfall approaching 210,000 feet. That's 40 miles straight up in the air, all you people, and that's where I am. You never saw anything like it. No clouds. A color no one ever named before. And silence. 8 rockets roaring at my tail, and I can't hear them. Their sound will never reach me at 1,800 miles an hour. Silence so complete that the ticking of the clock on my instrument panel is a hammer in my brain. Silence. Otherwise, nothing. Nothing except... No, nothing at all. Wait a minute. Yes, there is something all right at 2 o'clock high. Oh, that's really something, brother. Maybe a flying disc, and this is a big one. Spinning like a top, and it's coming toward me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Listen. Something has just happened. Something, a missile, a shot, maybe, through the canopy. My pressure is going down. Something is happening to me. This disc thing, it's like a magnet. I'm being pulled toward it. I've lost control of my ship. I've no control. I'm going through decompression. I'm on the verge of unconsciousness. I'm blacking out. I'm black. Can you hear?
You are listening to The Outer Limits, starring Frank Lovejoy in another thrilling adventure on Escape.
He had only 10 minutes fuel. He's 3 hours overdue.
Well, that's that, Colonel.
But wait some more, Mr. Hargrove.
There's no point to it. May I make a suggestion, Colonel?
What?
Give it up. Make your report to Washington.
What about you, Mr. Hargrove?
To be frank with you, Colonel, in another 16 months, there'll be another plane. The RJX-2. And the Army will give us another man to fly it.
Not till we're certain about this man, and we're not certain.
What do you propose to do?
The things that are in the manual. We'll organize search parties and put spotter planes up in the air. Maybe Bill came down on the ocean. We'll call the Navy in.
Colonel, if the RJX-1 came down on the ocean, it would sink in 3 minutes. You know it had no life preserver equipment on it. The added weight of
We'll
the
call the
instrument...
Navy in.
Whatever you say, Colonel. My guess is...
What's your guess, Mr. Hargrove?
My guess is that sometime, somewhere, on some beach or in some field, someone will pick up a piece of torn metal. That someone will be holding what's left of the RJX-1.
You're aboard that ship now. Am I getting through to you? Can you understand me? But there is no manifestation that we're in communication with him, sir. Try again on a different frequency. Yes, sir.
Oh my God, is that a Martian? Yeah, much love, Kathy. Sorry for your loss. And, yeah, sending some love your way.
I am Zeglon. You're aboard the Space Patrol ship S2J3. Am I in communication with you? Can you understand me? Are we in contact? Can you understand now what I am saying to you?
Yes. Yes, I can understand you.
Earthman, your brain is in turmoil, is it not? It has great difficulty in accepting what you see.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Accept it. What you see here exists.
All this? This exists?
It exists, Earthman. The spaceship you're on exists. Those jet dynamos you see before you exist. Jet dynamos driven by the harnessed power of 1,000 suns. Listen, Earthman. Listen to them. Do you know what happened as you listened, Earthman? We have flung ourselves 10,000 miles into space. What do you say to that, Earthman?
Well, I don't know what to say.
It's beyond the conception of your Earth brain. Then conceive this. Try to move, Earthman. You're not bound in any way. Try to move. Don't strain. It's impossible for you to move. There's a screen of force aimed at you. Now it's turned off. You may move about, Earthman. Proceed, Zeglon.
Yes, Commander. Earthman, I perceive that your intellect now accepts the fact. You are aboard Space Patrol ship S2J3. I am Captain Zeglon of the Galactic Guard.
Galactic? Galactic Guard?
The guardian of the galaxy. The guardian of the universes. The instrument the Brotherhood of Worlds has set up in defense against such a civilization as yours. What puzzles you, Earthman?
Well, I can't see you. I can feel that you're here, but I can't see you.
There is no necessity for you to see us. It is sufficient that we communicate with each other.
Yes, but talking to you is... Well, it's not like talking. It's, well, it's as if it were all happening inside my brain.
It is. That is how I'm
Telepathy.
reaching you, by telepathy. Do you remember what happened to you before you blacked out?
Yes, I think so. There was a sharp sound, like a bullet hitting the canopy.
It was not a bullet. It was a ray. It was necessary to stop your flight. We have so much to tell you.
Well, first tell me about my ship. Is it lost?
No. It is such a crude little ship.
Crude?
Easy for us to repair. It will be returned to you. And you will return to Earth. Because you are the Earth's only hope of survival.
Hope of survival? What do you mean?
I will show you. What you see on this screen before you is a panorama of your own universe, far greater in scope than an Earthman has ever seen before. Observe. Observe where the line is pointing. Planet 3, Star 5, Galaxy C, Sector K.
Is that the Earth?
No. That dot, that speck you see revolving in the vastness, is your sun. A star whose surface is 12,000 times that of your Earth. Your Earth is not even visible here.
What? How did you know we even existed?
That was our problem. We first became aware of your planet when we found atomic dust in the upper atmosphere. We traced it to your Earth.
It was that important to you?
Quite. We determined that you were setting off atomic bombs. That's why the Galactic Council has quarantined you.
Quarantined? I don't understand. How? How are we quarantined?
We have sealed off your planet from the rest of space.
But
we have surrounded it with a force screen. When that screen has accumulated enough particles of atomic dust, your Earth will explode. Your civilization, you, all life will disappear forever.
Listen to me, Earthman. Listen. We've had our own wars, wars that almost destroyed our civilization. But we have finally outlawed war throughout space, including Earth. Now listen carefully, Earthman. If you continue to make atom bombs and hydrogen bombs, each many times more powerful than the last, and if you start making war with them, exploding them, it would upset the balance of the entire universe, throw all space into chaos. This, of course, we cannot allow. And the force screen with which we have surrounded the Earth will prevent it by exploding the Earth itself. Remember then, Earthman, if you start an atomic war, the Earth will at once be completely destroyed. Warn them, Earthman. Release him, Zegdon.
Yes, Commander. Earthman, you will rise from your seat and open that door. Descend those stairs, Earthman. You will now enter the chamber to your left. There's your ship. Get into it, Earthman. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
While we were communicating, the patrol ship has returned to where we picked you up. And now you will be propelled toward Earth. Close your canopy. Open aperture.
Warn them, Earthmen! Warn them!
Fire!
RJX-1 to tower. RJX-1 to tower. Come in. RJX-1 to tower. Come in, tower.
Tower to Funny Man. You loaded, kid? How did you get in on this frequency?
Listen, this is RJX-1. RJX-1 coming in for landing. Give me landing instructions.
Tower to Funny Man. Impossible that you're RJX-1. He's 10 hours overdue. Get away from the area. Area cleared for bomber practice approaches.
This is Major Westfall and RJX-1. Come on, kid, give me landing instructions. I have no fuel. I'm gliding.
What? Hey! Hey, yeah, I see you now, Major. Wait a minute. I'll restrict the area. Okay, RJX-1. Go ahead.
Approximately 6 miles north of field. Clear area for 10 miles.
Being cleared. What's your altitude?
10,000. Estimate 6 minutes to land.
Tower to RJX-1. You are cleared to land. Runway 9. Wind east-southeast 15.
Roger, coming down. Hi, Hank.
Bill, what happened?
Hank, you won't believe it, but you've got to. I know you won't believe it. It'll knock you over.
Now, just take it easy, Bill.
Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Have the
Hank, you won't believe it, but you got to.
ship going over by Geiger counters for radioactivity and seal it.
What?
Oh, yes, Hank, you better mount a 24-hour guard on it.
Look, what did you run into?
Plenty. Listen to me, Hank. They said the Earth would explode. They said it was the end for us.
They said that? Come on, let's go over to my office.
You gotta believe me.
Read it like an order, Bill. My office. I want Major Donaldson to look at you.
The psychiatrist?
This guy's going to end up in a loony bin because he's giving orders, or he doesn't want the Earth to get blown.
Hank, you've got to listen to
Come on
me.
over to the office.
Well, that's the story, Major Donaldson.
I see.
Well, Hank, you believe it, don't you?
Well, Major, what do you think?
I'm not sure. Bill, these men from Mars.
I didn't say they were from Mars. Did you hear me say anything about men from Mars?
No, you didn't.
All I'm trying to tell you is this. Whoever those people were, they knew all about us, everything. And they warned me. Our atomic bombs are a danger to the universe. One more, and we're going to be the juiciest galactic 4th of July of all time. Explode, finish, gone. Like that. How do you like it?
All right, Bill, roll up your sleeve.
Oh, now, forget it, Major. All I need is a couple of drinks.
Sorry, Bill. Sorry. Not right now. Let the Major give you a hypo.
Now, look, I got a drink coming, a lot of drinks.
Later.
Come on, Bill, the sleeve.
You heard him, Bill.
All right, yes, all right, if it's an order. Go ahead.
There. You'll be okay in a few hours.
I'm okay now.
Sure. We'll leave you here, Bill. It's all right if Bill sleeps in here, isn't it, Colonel?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll believe me tomorrow. You'd better.
Come on, Major. He'll be okay by himself, Major?
He's been under a strain, but he'll sleep a long time. You better explain it to his wife somehow. I'll talk to him tomorrow. Tough. I've heard he's one of the best.
He's the best. A combination of nerve and loyalty and lightning reflexes that comes once in 10 million times. What about it, Major? How does Bill look to you?
I can't tell yet. Maybe.
Sislovsky, is YouTube okay with me playing what in the stream? This show? Of course. It's an odd question. I mean, if they weren't, they wouldn't allow me to play it, right? Anyways,
A week, 6 months, 6 years. I'll need a whole lot of time with him before I can tell.
I see. Well, we'd better get some sleep, too.
All right. And don't worry, Colonel. He's a strong boy. Best nerves I've seen. I'd say things will be all right. Delusions like Bill's latched on to... Well, delusions like this...
Major.
Yes, Colonel?
Major, when you make your charts for Bill, diagnose him and treat him and do all the things you have to, when you do that, Major, consider this.
Yes?
How did he keep that plane in the air for 10 hours? For 10 hours, Major, when he had fuel to last him only 10 minutes.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight starred Frank Lovejoy in The Outer Limit by Graham Dorr, adapted for radio by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. Featured in the cast were Charles McGraw as the Colonel, Jeff Corey as Major Donaldson, Stan Waxman as Zeglon, and Ian Wolfe as Zill. Special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Actual flight details were authenticated by rocket test pilot Gene May, Sergeant Hartley Caldwell of the Air Force Section of the Armed Forces Public Information Office, and by the Douglas Aircraft Corporation. Next week.
You were on the Baltic Sea within sight of the Soviet coast, where your Russian wife is secretly waiting to escape with you to England. And on the cold, dark waters behind you, an armed patrol boat is about to discover your small sailing craft. If it does, you will never escape.
Next week, we escape with Roger Bax's thrilling and timely tale of a man and woman who dared to defy an entire government in order to be together. 2 if by sea. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. 2 all-star bouts are promised on CBS this Wednesday night. Bing Crosby faces Fred Allen across the CBS mic to battle it out on who's funnier, singers or comedians. And in the second attraction, Gracie Allen and a smashed Bender team up against not-so-gorgeous George Burns and a guilty conscience. This Wednesday also...
Ooh, that cut right off. Exactly, Greg. And even if you were to track down owners of certain things back in the day, in the 40s, 50s, 30s, 40s, 50s, there were small, tiny radio stations which put these shows out, and they transferred hands through families and through companies and stuff like that over the years and stuff like that, to the point that you really can't even find paperwork on this stuff anymore. Anyways, hopefully you're enjoying it. And almost done here on the next bag. This is turning out really cool. Really cool. That was a good episode, The Outer Limit. And of course, Frank Lovejoy is going to end up being locked up for good, like many people who are in the lunatic asylums and stuff like that. You know, they're saying things that you're like, I wonder if that is true. Let's see. I subbed to your channel after hearing you have building from other brands other than Lego. I left that comment explaining it. I was just wondering, it was... Yeah, you looked familiar. The name looked familiar. But I definitely love Fantasy and Funhole as well. I thought playing the shows were kind of a fun way to watch the build process, sometimes, it gets really quiet. And some people like that. But I like to listen to something as I'm building. And a lot of the people, especially from my other channel, love old time radio, and I do too. So anyways, I'm still waiting on the Funhole antique store, which kind of pisses me off because I bought it the day of, and if I would have waited just 1 more day, 2 more days, it would have been on Amazon. I could have got it in 1 day, but because I bought it from their website, it takes forever to get to me. But anyways, I can't wait to build it, the antique store from Funhole. Anyways, let's play another sci-fi episode. Let's see, which one should I play? I did play that one. But this is one that... This is a classic. Well, should I play a classic or should I play... I'm going to play something else. Here's The Invader. The Invader. Escape. Enjoy this while I build.
Time.
And I was like goofing up. Again, I think I need to, especially, I've encountered this with this set, where camera angles and everything and all that I got on the table is making it a little hard for me to build and allow you guys to see everything perfectly. Like even if I open up like this, like right now, let me hold this up and try to show you. There's barely any room for me, but I will try my best, and I will give a show here real quick. Yeah, see, it's getting kind of hard for me to show. the front camera on top, you can kind of see as I open these doors up. But when you get something like this, and look at that. I mean, even from that point of view, where you can see the organ, which I loved making, and the front facade and all of that, it just looks so cool. But it's getting hard unless I have a side camera to do anything. Even this build, I'm starting to build higher, and I got to keep turning this thing around and opening it up, which is making it difficult. But I'll still get through it. Let's see. Evening of Old Time Radio. We love the OTR, Dino. I like that you play it during your live builds. Yes, we do love it. Listen, I've been listening to Old Time Radio since I was a teen. Since I first heard it right before Christmas, like A Christmas Carol, or Sherlock Holmes was the very first one I heard. And then I heard A Christmas Carol, like right before Christmas, on the AM transistor little radio I got for Christmas. And it was just so... I just was hooked ever since. And it wasn't until I was older that I was able to eventually collect almost all of... I think I've got almost all that. There's got to be other stuff out there somewhere. But anyways, the organ, yeah. Oh, it's probably one of my favorite builds. That's what my son and I did last year, Legos Dino OTR. Very cool. Very cool, JLR. Yes. It's cool to do it with your kids. I had my son do the lighthouse, which is part of the next Lego City tour that I'm doing. It's fun. I say Lego City because 99% of it is Lego, but I did add 2 sets of fantasy so far. The bakery and the Sherlock Holmes modular build. The bakery fits in perfect on the side of the food court, which you'll see in the next update video. And Sherlock Holmes is going to be in the back, kind of like a historical society is what I kind of am going to make it into in the city, Dino Brookhaven, because it comes with a carriage and it's set. It looks like Victorian, Sherlock, Watson, Moriarty, and all that. So it's going to be almost like a historical society, and you could take a little carriage ride down Main Street in Dino Brookhaven, and so I think you can fit stuff like that from these other sets, like that are coming out with modular buildings and stuff like that, because we only get really one modular a year. Luckily, I've got most of the modulars, like maybe 3 more to build, something like that. But, to fit those in there, so you can still call it a Lego City. I'd say if you dip below... If Lego's the majority, you can call it a Lego City. But at the moment, it's 90%, 99%, 95% Lego. Just those 2 fantasy modular buildings, the bakery and the Sherlock Holmes. But anyways, I hope Sherlock Holmes, since I'm a sucker for mysteries very much, I just look up Old Time Radio and we'll have to look into it. Oh, Seslovsky, go to my main channel. It's called The Late Late Horror Show. My main channel plays it every single night, as well as an Evening of Old Time Radio. They've got set lists too, but if you want, go over to The Late Late Horror Show. I think the link's in the description. If not, maybe somebody will pop the link up in there for me, Connie, if you're still listening. Thank you. Definitely go over there. You will find all the Sherlock Holmes. In the past 5 years, I've streamed 12 hours overnight, every night for 5 years. So, again, almost everything, not really, the comedy and stuff like that isn't on the channel. But some are, very few. But because it's the Late Late Horror Show, it's mostly detective, mystery, horror, spooky, stuff like that. So you could definitely find it over there, Seslovsky, The Late Late Horror Show. And that's my main big channel. So this is for fun, and I'm loving it. And hopefully this channel grows too. But if not, it doesn't matter. I'm just here to have fun. And it's nice having everybody in the chat and all that too. So there you go. Anyways, back to it. Here we go. Another sci-fi from Escape.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are seated before the dials of your radio receiver, listening to a faint voice from the blackness beyond, while the one who speaks with words of friendship is debating the destruction of your world.
Listen now as Escape brings you Michael Gray's exciting story, The Invader.
It's going to be a good one.
Here in the Nevada desert, our forward observation post is a slit trench less than 2 miles from ground zero of Operation Doorstep 8A bomb test. The time exactly 30 seconds to H hour. That's the voice of our official guide, Colonel Jim Donovan.
All personnel put on protective glasses and get below trench revetments. We have H hour minus 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it goes. There it is. You'll hear the sound of the explosion any second now.
Takes a while for sound to travel. That's what they tell me.
Did you see that flash, Commander?
Yes. Check the cyclo gauges for reactions.
Yes, sir. No reaction, 0 count. What an extraordinary race.
Very primitive. The main object appears to be to kill each other off at periodic intervals.
I wonder why the Council doesn't order extinction.
There's hope. That's why we've been sent.
But the red zero discs vanished on the same job last Delo. Why waste more lives? The things should be exterminated.
Don't be unscientific. The red zero discs probably disobeyed orders and landed on water.
Water?
Yes, water.
What a
Water?
place. What do they call those creatures, Commander?
Humans.
Humans. What an odd name.
I'm afraid they're a very odd race.
I agree there. But we're also special.
That you, Al?
Oh, yes. Yes, Martha.
I saw the bomb test on television this morning. You see it in school?
I knew I
No,
dropped
dear.
one.
Oh.
Shoot. Gotta go under the
Where
table.
are you going now?
Into the lab. Call me when dinner's ready, will you, dear? Yeah.
It's Floyd, the barber. like a haircut, Andy?
Albert, I want to talk to you.
Huh?
I said I want to talk to you.
Oh, yes, dear. Of course.
I saw Mrs. Warren today.
Oh, wait, that ain't him.
Yes, dear.
Will you stop messing around and pay attention to what I'm saying?
Yes, dear.
I should merely like to remind you that Mrs. Warren is your school principal's wife. She hinted that he's not pleased with your work. In fact, he's not pleased at all. Albert, did you hear what I said?
Yes. Yeah, yes, dear.
Come back here. Now, stand still and listen to me. How do you think I feel having the principal's wife laughing at you and laughing at me, too? This is the third job you've had in the past 2 years, and you are going to keep this one. I know it's hard for a scientific genius to settle down teaching 12th grade chemistry.
It sounded like him at
This
first, but
time
then I'm
you're
like,
going to
oh, no,
stick.
that's
I
not
mean
him.
it, Albert. You're making yourself the laughing stock of the school with your crazy experiments, and it's got to stop. I'm just not going to spend the rest of my life following you around from job to job like a gypsy.
Well, of course, dear. Well, I understand.
You'd better understand. I'm not going to stand for it anymore. And if you're not down for dinner in 5 minutes, there won't be any dinner for you.
This lady, though. Woo!
Commander? Magnetron's oscillating.
Probably magnetic storms.
No, it's a definite signal on our channel. Perhaps the council's calling.
Raise and bring it in.
Station MXA calling. Station MXA calling. Station MXA. Over and out.
That's not the council. Check the frequency.
It's the emergency band.
Somebody's playing a joke. Tell them to clear the ether.
Stellar disk white 0 now. Who's called?
Moment. Ask for code check.
Stellar disk white 0 now. Give name. Code.
Did they say ask for Kolchak? Kolchak will he'll do whatever you need. he'll run it down. Kolchak? No, I sounded Kolchak. Kolchak.
Check.
Station MXA. Where are you?
Give me the frequent tone. Listen, MXA. This is Commander of Delta Ship White 0 Null on space mission. Get off this channel. Make a note for the log. We'll report it back to the council. What was his identification?
Sounded like MXA.
MXA. Check the cyclo listing.
There's no such station listed, Riss.
There must be. Cross-check and fix.
Yes, Riss. No. Absolutely no listing.
Oh, no. It's impossible. Those blundering primates couldn't have the intelligence.
What's primates, Riss?
Humans. It's incredible, but use the Magna band. We'll keep emergency open. Fix and raise MXA immediately.
Delta Ship White 0 Null. Delta Ship White 0 Null.
Are you coming down to supper?
Oh, Martha. Martha, it's amazing. I've made contact. I spoke to them.
Spoke to who?
The Delta White 0 Null. I've checked the station list. There's no such call sign. It means only one thing, Martha. One thing.
His wife is not going to have anything to do with it. She's going to put him in order. She's going to make him go back to his room, is what she's going to do.
Space. Men in space. You know what that means,
Oh,
Martha?
stop it. Albert, when are you going to grow up? Your dinner's getting cold.
Commander Delta White 0 Null, calling station MXA. Where are you located?
Commander Delta White 0 Null. This is station MXA. MXA. I'm located at La Mirada, California.
What planet?
Planet Earth. That's continent of North America. Who are you? Repeat who you are. Over.
Are you humans?
Yes. You. You aren't...
No, of course not. We're of Epsilon from the race of planetoid Delta.
Delta.
On mission of exploration for the Council.
Council?
The Council of Quantum Major, the nebulae Ursula. We're arriving in your atmosphere in 2 delos more to examine your planet. We cannot continue this unauthorized contact without permission from the Council. If granted, we will raise contact again at your earliest flight time tomorrow.
Oh, did you hear that, Martha? Did you hear?
Are you or are you not coming down to dinner?
Oh, I've done it. Out there in space is another intelligence, another race. And I've made contact.
For the last time, are you coming down
Martha,
for dinner?
listen, I've made one of the most important discoveries of the century. The first contact with another world, another people, or something. Think what it'll mean for civilization. Think what they'll bring. Maybe a whole new way of life.
It's just another one of those radio amateur friends of yours playing a joke.
No, Martha, that's impossible. The frequency's completely outside the UHF band. No station could even reach the range, much less transmit speech. Oh, yes, tomorrow I can ask questions now. I can find out more
All right,
about
now, I've stood enough. I've watched you wreck job after job with your silly crackpot ideas. I've been hoping that you'd come to your senses.
But you heard, Martha.
I've put up with this pile of junk long enough. If you don't come to your senses once and for all, I'm through with you.
Oh, but Martha...
I'll give you 5 minutes
Poor
more
guy.
to wash and get downstairs, or I'm through Albertana. I mean it.
Lots.
Albert.
That's funny, Greg.
Wake up,
This is a
Albert.
keeper.
I'm kind of upset.
Is it Floyd?
Oh, yes, of course.
Hurry up and get showered, or you'll be late.
Of course. Oh, I mustn't be late. My. Let me see now. Early light time.
Yes, it
Early
is.
light time.
It
I
is.
hope I'm not late.
Where are you going?
Howard
You said you'd
McNair.
make contact early, late. Light time.
I
Don't
know.
worry about breakfast, dear. Just fix some coffee.
You're getting showered and dressed now. Now, do you hear me? You know what the principal said the last time you were late.
Martha, I'm not going to school.
Yo.
Oh, I can't. Don't you understand, dear? Today I'm going to contact Delta White Null. In fact, I'm going to contact him right now.
You mean to tell me that you're risking your job for that crazy...
Oh, Martha, it's not crazy. Nobody on this earth could have transmitted on that frequency. There's only one explanation.
All right. I can see that there's only one solution to this. And you've asked for it.
Martha, don't. Martha, stop. What are you going to do? Martha!
Get away from that door.
Martha,
By the
please.
time I finish with this place, get out of my way. All you'll need is a broom.
Martha, stop! Stop it, I say, Martha! Now, then. You listen to me for a change.
Well,
14
boy.
years I've been teaching
sort of.
sniveling little monsters to blow themselves up for less money than a garbage collector. And for 10 years I've listened to you nag me out of any sort of manhood. But if you lay one finger on that equipment or come in this room again without my express permission, I'll kill you.
You remember the Twilight Zone episode where the husband and wife, they're just at each other. He kept seeing something appear on the TV of him trying to kill her and stuff like it. Very, very, very cool. Thank you, Harry Scott. Great interview. Yes, Doug Bradley, his wife is a fan of my channel on Instagram and reached out, and I started talking to her. And next thing I know, I was talking to Doug, and he ended up coming on, and we casually talked for an hour and a half. It was probably the coolest. Well, it was the coolest thing because Pinhead's my favorite when it comes to the iconic movie monsters. So the interview is really, really good. But but I mean like Vincent Price or Boris Karloff or Roger Corman, William Castle. Well, okay, well there you go. I mean, heck, I mean really any of them. I think Vincent Price. Vincent Price definitely, probably number one. If I had the chance to interview any of them, he just had such a long career. He was part of old time radio. He was part of the horror, and more. But man, I would have loved to have sat down and talked to Bella. Bella before Boris. Boris Karloff just seemed to have, like, you know, an attitude all the time. I don't know. But yeah, probably Vincent Price. There's an answer. But Doug Bradley definitely was a really, really cool one. But from the past of people who aren't around anymore, yeah, Vincent Price. Anyways, let's get back to this nagging couple. And he's putting one to her now, huh? On to bag nine.
We will return to Escape in just a moment. But first, in your town, in the next town, across the nation, you'll find the Red Cross. But the Red Cross is above and beyond all boundary lines, for it is infinite in its scope. In time of hardships, epidemics, floods, fires, the Red Cross is the symbol and soul of humanity.
He would say no.
You are part of that symbol because it is the money that you contribute that enables the Red Cross to continue its great work. Answer the call, and humanity will answer you with gratitude. And now, back to Escape.
Bag number 9. He's married to bag number 9.
XA calling Delta White, 0 null. Station MXA calling Delta White, 0 null.
This is Delta White 0 null to station MXA. Can you read us?
You're coming in loud and clear.
Council authorizes to continue contact. What is your name and function?
My name's Tanner. Albert Tanner. I'm a chemistry teacher at La Mirada High School.
A scientist?
Yes. Well, kind of, in a way.
We, too, have servants of learning. Did you construct this magnetron channel?
Yes, but I'm afraid it's a bit elementary. I had to use war surplus stuff, and that's never very satisfactory.
Oh. Is there war in your territory at this moment?
Oh, no, Commander. Oh, everything's quite peaceful here.
Good. We're looking for a suitable land space and don't want to arrive in the middle of your hostilities.
You'd be very welcome, Commander. We've plenty of space and open fields all around us here. It'd be a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Tanner.
You're welcome, Commander. Might I ask, what is the position of your planet?
Planetoid Delta is 5 light years behind the summer solstice.
I'm afraid I don't understand that.
In elementary mathematical formulae, its gamma is to the power of epsilon to the 7th vector.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course. Now, how is it we haven't observed your planetoid before? I couldn't find you on any of our star atlases.
We're exactly opposite your sun. This would make
We're hitting the
observation by
second level
ordinary
now.
optical instruments impossible. But with our magnetic electroscopes, we're able to filter out the sol rays and observe you perfectly.
I see. Oh, I see, Commander. When do you expect to arrive?
By your time, late in your so-called afternoon. We shall determine that by later contact.
And, Commander, might I ask a personal question?
Of course.
What do you, what do you look like?
Like all members of the race Delta of the nebulae Ursula, of course. Is there any other way to look?
That really wasn't an answer.
Murata Police Department, Sergeant Williams.
This is Mrs. Tanner, 35 Crescent Heights. My husband just made contact with a Delta Zero something in space, and they're going to land this afternoon.
Oh, will you say that a little slower, please?
I said that the men from space are going to land this afternoon. I heard my husband talking to them. You've got to send some policemen out here, because I'm afraid...
Oh, yes, ma'am. Now, take it easy. How did you say your husband got this
We'll send someone out real fast.
I mean, he got through his radio.
Sure, I understand. These spacemen radioed your husband.
But I keep telling you, I heard them. The door was open. I could hear them very distinctly. Oh, please, you've got to send help.
Yeah,
please.
This sounds like a matter for the Army, Mrs. Tanner. Why don't you call them?
Oh, but I don't see why I can't go. Oh, all right, I'll call them. Oh, what's their number? Oh, please, hurry, tell me.
One moment.
Oh, please, hurry. Are you still there? Please.
It's Murata 4637.
Yes, thank you. I'll call them right away.
Yeah, you do that, Mrs. Tanner.
Yes,
they'll take care of it.
Four, 6, 3. Oh, no. M-I 4, 6, 3, 7. Oh, please. Hurry, please. Oh.
U.S. Army, Camp Reynolds.
Can I speak to somebody in charge, please? It's urgent. It's very
What's
urgent.
it about, please?
We're being invaded by Delta White. I mean, it's spaceships that are coming.
Hold the line, please. I'll give you the duty officer.
Are you still there?
Officer of the day, Lieutenant Jacobs.
My name is Mrs. Tanner, Mrs. Albert Tanner, 35 Crescent Heights. Now, please, you've got to send soldiers out here right away. My husband is talking to them.
Oh, that's interesting, Commander. How long you been in space?
By your time, 5 months. But remember, our speed is twice the speed of light.
Uh-huh. Do you use atomic energy?
Discarded in our bleak age. We use the natural magnetic forces that surround the universe.
What about friction heat caused by your velocity through the atmosphere?
Our speed is adjustable by control of the magnetic
Just a little.
fields we ride in. In any case, the disc hull is of Traxendium. It's pressured to withstand anything. Anything, that is, but water.
But water. But everything in nature has water. Even the human body is 80% water.
What? You have water in your body?
Yes, it's in different forms, say such as blood or sweat, but it's still water.
Thank you for warning us.
What's wrong with water?
To humans, apparently nothing. But to our life form, water is a deadly corrosive.
But our atmosphere contains water.
We know, and have sufficient exterior protection for the moisture of your atmosphere. Did you say your habitation was inland?
Yes, you're perfectly safe, sir. We're over 100 miles from the nearest ocean or river. Now, if you will follow my carrier signal down to the landing, you'll be all right.
Thank you, Tanner. I'll report your assistance to the council. Do you think your authorities will object to our visit?
I'm sure they won't, sir. And they'll be honored. We'll all be honored.
Listen, man. I mean, the man, nor is this a joke? Are you or are you not going to help?
Mrs. Tanner, the CO's away for the weekend, and I've got an appointment. Can't it wait till Monday?
Look, either you send help right away, or I'll send a report of your conduct to my congressman with a copy to your commanding general.
Yes, Mrs. Tanner. I'll be over.
Hey, Chris, W.
Do you really trust that human, Commander?
Well, there isn't much option. We've orders to carry out. It's an incredible race, but Tanner seems harmless enough.
We're meeting pressure, Riss.
Probably entering the outer atmosphere. Better start degaussing and settle on his carrier.
2700. 02. No change.
Switch on the water oscillograph.
Oscillograph on.
Variation?
None.
Good. We'd better check again with Tanner until we see ground.
Right away, Riss.
Delta to MXA. Delta to MXA. Over.
MXA 2 Delta, you're in, loud and strong.
We're entering your atmosphere.
I'll check your approach on radar and keep tracking you.
We're going off ether. Leave your channel open.
Yeah, Martha, I thought I told you to...
This is Lieutenant Jacobs from Camp Reynolds, Albert. I heard you talking to the Delta man, and I was so scared.
Your wife was worried, so she wanted me to come over.
Oh, I see. I suppose she told you a story about men from space?
Well, yes, sir.
Oh, all right. You probably think I'm crazy, but you'll see. They're coming in right now, using my channel as a ground approach. You been through signal school?
I'm from 27th Signal Corps, sir.
I see. Then you'll recognize the equipment.
Something wrong, Rick. Wrong. Reverse the fields. Quick. There's water.
We're
Tanner.
approaching water, Rick.
Tanner. Cross-check our position. We have a danger reading.
You're heading straight for us, Commander. You're safe. Why, you're perfectly safe.
Check it again.
There's a great deal of water.
Did you check it again?
Just started the second floor, so right here.
Water down there.
Second level.
Tanner, our signals are a danger. Strong danger. Cross-check your fix. Counter-reverse the magnet. It's water. It's water. Masses and masses of water. Tanner, we've hit water. It's an ocean. Help! Help! We're burning! Ah!
Delta? Delta!
Shouldn't have listened to a human.
Cross-check their position, sir. The signal's getting weaker, but your fix is right. It's within 100 yards of this set.
Let's get outside. Maybe it crashed into the fields.
Where is it? There's nothing out there.
But there must be. Maybe it crashed into the trees, or... Come on.
Albert! Albert! Look!
I'll read it, sir, but I don't
Go
think
on. Go on.
On Saturday, July 14th at 1400 hours, a telephone call was received from Mrs. Albert Tanner, etc., and so forth. And on going out to the back lot, we could see no sign of the space disc. Our attention was then drawn by Mrs. Tanner to the fish pond from which steam could be seen rising. On inspecting the pond, a small circular object approximately 8 inches in diameter could be seen floating on the surface. On attempting to retrieve the object, it disintegrated as if attacked by a powerful corrosive. End of report.
Well, you forgot about the men inside. You've got to say something about their size.
We never saw them, Mr. Tanner.
Well, what do you do? Don't do that! Well, Lieutenant, you can't hear that.
Mr. Tanner, I'm doing this for both of us. If I sent in the report, nobody would believe it. It's better this way.
No! It's the truth. You saw it happen. Why, you know it happened.
The only thing I know is there's no proof. As far as I'm concerned, it didn't happen. I never saw anything. I never heard anything. That's going to be my report, Mr. Tanner. No occurrence. Incident closed. Good afternoon, Mr. Tanner.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you The Invader by Michael Gray, starring Howard McNear. Fay Baker was heard as Martha.
Yeah, there we go. That was a good episode. A very good episode. Loved it. And we got Floyd. Although he was a much younger one, a much younger Floyd, Howard McNear. And But a good thing, and they say water is, then they land and the water destroys them. I mean, it's simple, but yeah. The Trash Picture Show was talking about Canon Pictures. Favorite movie. Let's see. Come on. I've got no room, man. Got no room. I'm trying to look something up here for you guys. Canon Pictures. Give you guys some ideas. Oh God, why'd that come up? Anyways, I'm not even gonna go there. There's no room to type this stuff in. Continue on with the show. But Life Force is a good one. Marty, it is a good one. Can't complain about that. Hey, MOR, what's going on? Good to see you. And The Hobbit. Yes, this is The Hobbit is my favorite story of all time. It's just a magical place. I mean, I don't know what more to say about that. I mean, Hobbit is great. My second favorite story or novels are the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice, the Vampire Lestat, because I love vampires, and but The Hobbit is just fantastic. The Lord of the Rings trilogy also. I mean, it's all part of that same thing. And the Silmarillion, if you get a chance to read that, it's just fantastic. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if they could break it down to just Canon Pictures, Marty, but you know, it's all right. How about just saying, what's everybody's favorite sci-fi film of all time? How about that? Let's go there first. Favorite sci-fi movie of all time. As I go ahead and pull up another show. Let's do The Earthmen. Another Ray Bradbury. I didn't play this. I haven't played this one, have I? No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Wait, let me see. Well, this is a sci-fi story. Conqueror's Isle. It's been a while since I heard this one, so how about we listen to this one and see what this is about. It's going to be a WW2 sci-fi story, so hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Listen to it. Most of them are, that last one was really good. Here we go.
Fed up with the everyday grind?
Yes.
Tired out by the dull routine?
Sure.
Want to get away from it all?
We offer you
The Incredible Shrinking Man.
Escape.
There you go.
Escape. Transcribed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are flying over the lonely wastes of the Pacific, lost, torn by the fury of a typhoon, your gas running out. And ahead of you is an adventure so strange, so terrifying, that your mind cannot accept it.
Today, we escape from reality with a tale of...
Just to let you guys know, I will be getting a better camera angle here. This just isn't cutting it for what I'm doing. I need a different angle. So the overhead just isn't getting everything in. Usually I could pick stuff up and show you, but with builds like this, it's just not. I'm going to need a side view so that you can actually see exactly what I'm working on here. There's a cat here out of nowhere. What the heck? So there you go. I promise, just to make the viewing experience and building process just a little bit better. So there you go. Like all the Saw movies. Wait, what? William, that's you. Are those your favorite movies? The Saw. Oh my God. Not me, man. The too much gore is just awful. It's just awful. It's like, Listen, I know the script was good for the first Saw movie, even though it was very gory and very, yeah. But those just aren't the ones I'm into. Although, I mean, I can dig some gore in my horror movies, but the 50-foot woman, Andrea Black, there you go. Jurassic Park, I love those movies. Chris W, there you go. Let's see. Star Trek, The Voyage Home, Jaws, Goonies, JLR, all fantastic. Mine is definitely the Jurassic Park World franchise. I love the movie. Okay. Saslovsky, very cool. Got a love for dinosaurs. You gotta love it, right? I mean, that's pretty good. I've been getting in Southern Victory by Hero Turtle Dove. It tells if the Confederate States are still around. If the Confederates. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. So here we go. Back to the next episode.
A Navy flyer who vanished from the face of the earth into a new world of the future, as Nelson Bond told it in his story, Conqueror's Isle.
You've got to believe this. It sounds utterly impossible, I know. It sounds crazy. That's why I'm here, sir. But it's the truth, and you've got to believe it. You've got to, sir. You've got to.
That's the way he started, almost as soon as I'd walked into his hospital room. He wasn't violent, you understand. There was no need for restraint. But his every action, every gesture was evidence of a psychotic...
Yeah, Kathy. Star Wars series, yes. I mean, the original... Well, not the original 3. Yeah, the original 3. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, which is 4, 5, 6. But, yeah, I mean, those are great. I love Star Trek, too. But, yeah, The Matrix, gotta love those movies, man. Source Code, I've never seen that movie. Source Code. I'm taking it's a sci-fi, Kathy. And Disney's Wall-E. Okay. John Wick is sci-fi, isn't it? I love those. Action sci-fi, yeah. I mean, I guess. Wait a second. John Wick. Is that classified sci-fi? I think a bit. I'd have to look back on that. I don't see John Wick. It's an action film based. That's it. I mean, he kicks ass, right? Nothing really sci-fi in it. The Matrix. Let's see. Event Horizon was a great sci-fi horror flick. Yeah. I love Event Horizon. Love it. AJ Starhiker. Hi, Dino. What's going on? Good to see you, AJ. So yeah. Okay. Let me continue. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
To be extremely charitable, battle fatigue. Well, anyway, it was an odd case. I was already acquainted, of course, with the history. Young man, graduate of Annapolis, lieutenant in the Fleet Air Arm, excellent record, citations for bravery and so forth. And toward the end of the war, he and his bomber crew disappeared over the South China Sea. Search failed to turn them up. They were, of course, presumed to be lost. And then a month ago, almost 4 years later, Lieutenant Brady was found by a Brazilian freighter drifting helplessly and nearly dead in a tiny life raft from the airplane. Curiously enough, his position was not far from that last reported by his radio operator 4 years ago. But when he was asked where he'd been, he gave a story so fantastic, so utterly unbelievable.
It's the truth, and you've got to believe it. You've got to, sir.
At ease, Lieutenant.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm here to consult with you as a physician, not to order your cure as a superior officer. Now, suppose we ignore the braid while you tell me about it.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Where should I begin?
Well, it's your story. You know what it is you want me to believe. The trouble began, I understand, on your last bombing mission.
Yes, that's right. That's when my troubles began. The thing's been going on for much longer than that. Years, certainly. Decades, perhaps. Somebody has got to do something, Doctor. Time is racing by, and with every passing day, they grow stronger. I've got to make people understand.
Lieutenant. Now, suppose you start at the beginning with that unfortunate last flight.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry I got a little... Well, then it was this way. We'd finished our mission and we were starting for home. We were over the South China Sea, between the Philippines and Indochina, roughly off Palawan. Everything was peaches and cream. The Arden Alice was purring along like a dream, and I was sitting there chewing up a pack of lifesavers, thinking how good that can of cold beer was going to taste, when the intercom crackled in my ear.
Lieutenant, Jap freighter, 10 o'clock.
Huh? Yeah, you're right. Looks like a single tramp beating up the coast. You still got a Bertha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe we can have some fun.
John Wick's too
Red
mellow.
4 to Mac. Red 4 to Mac.
Go ahead, Red 4.
Jap freighter, 10 o'clock.
Check.
We've still got a Bertha. How about it?
Why not? It's your party. Go ahead and good luck.
Roger and out. It was as easy as hitting a sitting duck. The long dive, the bomb release, the pull-out, the dull concussion. We laid it down her aft stack, and that Jap ship went up like a Roman candle.
Hey, nice going, Lieutenant. Right on the button.
That's one Jap we won't have to worry about anymore.
Lieutenant, we're hit.
Huh?
A piece of that Jap must have come up and hit us. We're spraying gas all over the Pacific out of the left wing tank.
Yeah, I see it now. Well, guys, get ready for a bath. We'll never make it back.
I object. It ain't Saturday night. Never mind. I always did want to take a ride on one of them little rubber boats.
No need to worry. The Navy takes care of its own. They'll be out to get us before we have a chance to get thirsty. Red 4 to Mac. Red 4 to Mac.
Nice going, fella.
Yeah, only it was a two-way deal. We're hit, Mac, losing gas fast.
Think you can make it?
Nope. It's a salt bath for us.
Sorry, fellas. Keep your radio on. Give your last position to base before you ditch it. They'll have a rescue party out in an hour.
Wilco.
See you tonight. Good luck. Over.
Roger, out. You see, there was nothing to it. It happened every day. With ships all over the Pacific, they'd have a destroyer sitting there when we came down. But a half hour later, when our gas was down to a few cupfuls and the rest of the squadron was long out of sight, an amazing thing happened. One minute the sky was clear and cloudless. The next minute we were surrounded by thunderheads, and a typhoon burst on us.
Holy cow, Lieutenant. Where'd this come from?
I don't know, but it's a Lulu. Fasten your safety belts. There's no telling what this'll do to us. It was a granddaddy typhoon, all right, but it lasted only a few minutes. Then we got out of it as miraculously as we'd come into it. And wonder of wonders, we were directly over a small island.
Well, what do you know? Take a look at that sight for sore eyes. Man, oh man, it looks mighty fine to me. What island is it, Lieutenant?
I don't know. I don't recognize it. And after the way we got tossed around back there, I haven't any idea of our position. We could be anywhere from the coast of China to the Philippines. Who knows?
Who cares? It's dry land.
Yeah, just
Gremlins
in
is a
time.
classic.
We're out of gas. Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
See if you can get a fix and radio our position. We're going down. We landed safely on a little strip of sandy beach. And only after we'd climbed out of the plane did we begin to have any misgivings.
What do you think, Skipper?
Well, it doesn't look like much, but...
I don't see anybody. Not a sign of life.
I got a good look from topside coming down. There weren't any houses, nothing.
Still, you can't tell. They could be Japs. Or worse.
Headhunters, maybe.
We better stick together, stay close to the plane. Shouldn't be more than a few hours.
Oh, yeah, except...
Hey, what the...
Hold it.
Hello there.
A white man.
Hey, what is this?
Keep your eyes open. It might be a trap.
But he's a white man. He speaks English and he's not armed.
No, I don't see any guns.
Just the same, watch it.
Welcome, gentlemen, welcome. We saw you land, so I hurried out to see if I could be of any assistance. May I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Grove.
I'm Lieutenant Brady, and these are my men. Radio man Kavanaugh, my gunner, Sergeant Geller.
Hi,
It's a
Dr.
pleasure,
Grove.
gentlemen, pleasure. Are any of you in need of medical assistance?
No, thanks. We're all okay. Just a little surprised to find anyone here.
Well, yes, of course. That can be explained to you later. But right now, you'll be wanting food and rest.
Hey, now, a little chow wouldn't be bad.
But first, we have to get in touch with our base. Give them our position.
Oh, of course, but such things take some time in these primitive areas.
Oh, we have a radio on the plane.
Did have, Skipper.
What?
I was just starting to tell you. It went out just before we sighted the island. Must have got
Did
wound
have,
up in that
Skipper.
storm.
Well, can you fix it?
I suppose so, if it's nothing serious. I'll tell you better after I have a chance to look at it.
Of course. But in the meantime, I hope you'll accept our humble hospitality. We don't have the pleasure of entertaining new guests here often. It'll be good to chat with you all. If you'll follow me, please.
How about it, Skipper?
Sure. Why not? After the last half hour, we could all use a little relaxation.
Very good. Right this way, please.
I should have smelled it right then. There was something strange about the whole thing. There were a lot of questions in my mind, but somehow I didn't ask them. Instead, we walked down the jungle path behind Dr. Grove, like lambs to the slaughter. Tom Geller must have had the same misgivings because he whispered in my ear.
I don't get it, Skipper.
Don't get what, Tom?
Where do these guys come from? Where do they hang out? When we were coming in, I made sure to take a good look at this island. There were no houses, no nothing.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah. Hey, stop. Holy cow, will you look at that?
Dr. Grove stopped in front of what looked like a big rock. And then we saw it was expertly camouflaged cement with a sliding door.
There. Here we are, gentlemen. If you'll be good enough to enter.
Enter what? That?
Don't be alarmed. It's only an elevator.
An elevator? In this jungle? Now, what kind of monkey business is this, anyhow? Do you mean to tell me you live underground?
My dear Lieutenant, I'll be glad to explain everything later. It's all very simple. But first, I must insist that you enter the shaft.
So now you're insisting. And suppose we prefer not to step into your elevator. Then what?
Then I should be compelled, most regretfully, to enforce my request.
Guess again, pal. We happen to be armed. A gun, 3 guns.
James Cagney here.
That's one detail you overlooked.
I overlooked no details, Lieutenant. Would you be kind enough to fire your gun?
Watch yourself, Skipper. It's a trick. He wants you to shoot. The sound will bring help.
Wrong, my friend. I need no help. Very well. If you won't accept my invitation...
Wait a minute. Keep your hand out of your pocket.
Perhaps you would care to stop me, Lieutenant?
Okay, if you asked for it.
Hey, Lieutenant.
Try again, Lieutenant, but your gun will not work
Skipper,
on
he's
this
right.
island.
Mine won't work either.
And now, perhaps you'll be kind enough to step into the shaft?
Look, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, neither do I.
Come on, gang. Let's get out of here.
Just a minute. I'm sorry. You forced me to use harsh measures. Believe me, I do so reluctantly.
What's that you've got there?
Just a small tube, but a very potent weapon, I must warn you.
Yeah? Well, then you better use it fast. I made a desperate lunge for him, and suddenly... tiny shaft of light flicked out from the tube and touched me. And I stopped, frozen in my tracks. Conscious, my eyes open, seeing him, hearing him. But try as I would, I could not move a muscle. I was as if turned to stone.
In just a moment, we will return to Escape. But first, both Gangbusters and The Adventures of Philip Marlowe are regular Saturday night features on most of these same CBS network stations. So be listening tonight when they bring you an exceptional, fast-moving, gripping hour of mystery. And now, with our stars, David Ellis, Ted Von Eltz, and Bill Johnstone, we return to the second act of Escape and Conqueror's Isle.
I was paralyzed, Dr. Gorham. Completely paralyzed. As if turned to stone. I had all my senses. I could see and hear and feel, but I couldn't move a muscle, not even turn my eyes.
And you say this happened because of some kind of light beam?
Well, not exactly a beam, sir. Perhaps not exactly light. Just a kind of radiance.
A gas, perhaps?
No, because it had no form, no odor, no taste. It was like becoming enmeshed in a web of moonbeams.
I see. And its only effect on you was to immobilize you.
Yes, that's right. It didn't burn or sting or cause pain in any way. I simply couldn't move. It was like a hypnotic trance.
And then?
Well, then some of Dr. Grove's companions came out of the elevator. They picked us up and carried us. I could feel their hands very softly, as if they were far away from my body, as if there were layers of rubber between them and me. I could hear Dr. Grove talking.
Wasn't a fan of Armageddon.
Gently, please.
I could see him bending over me into my line
But
of
we
vision.
all like different
I'm
things.
sorry, Lieutenant. I sincerely regret having to inconvenience you. But you see, just as we have the means of hampering your primitive mechanical devices, your guns, your radio, so do we have the means to enforce our requests. Requests which are, I assure you, only reasonable and necessary under the circumstances. Very well. Take us down.
My head was reeling, and fear was growing in me. Who were these men to talk of radio as a primitive device? What kind of men were they? Where were they taking the three of us, and what were they going to do with us? As if he'd read my thoughts, Dr. Grove leaned over me again.
There's no need to be alarmed, Lieutenant. No need at all. All right. Gently. Carry them gently.
Well, Fraser?
I'm sorry, Freighter Dorden. It was necessary. They would not come willingly.
I see. Yeah, a few of them do. Well, put them in the sleeping chambers until they recover. And be gentle. They are so frightened. Poor things.
Poor things. Poor things, he'd said. Not as if we were human beings at all, but animals. Some weak, dumb animals with whom they must be gentle. It was then that I began to know real fear. We were in a great underground city, but I could see little of it. Nothing except what passed in front of my rigid eyes.
The episode got you thinking of Metropolis.
Then I was carried into a room, deposited upon a soft couch,
I just
and
called
left
on.
alone. I could not close my eyes, but gradually the light began to fade, to melt away. I was in deep blackness, and I slept.
It has been a long time since I've seen Armageddon.
I don't know whether the
I don't
return of the light awakened me, or whether it came on automatically when I woke up. But the room was bright, and I could move again. I jumped up, tried the door, but of course it was locked, and there was no other way of escape. The room was a small cell with metal walls and ceiling, a kind of metal I'd never seen before. There was a cot, a desk, and a chair, and nothing else. But the really amazing thing was the light. I searched the entire room carefully, but there were no fixtures, no indirect lighting arrangements. The light came out of the walls, evenly filling the room, casting no shadows. Suddenly, I wanted to see Kavanaugh and Geller. I yelled at the top of my lungs. But there was almost no sound, no echo from the walls. They simply absorbed the sound into utter silence. Then, as I stood there, with fear cold in my stomach, I heard a faint sound, a footstep behind me. I whirled around just in time to see Dr. Grove stepping through
Making a
the
face.
wall.
You said through the wall, Lieutenant. Of course you mean through the door.
Through the wall. Through the wall, sir. The door was in front of me, but Dr. Grove stepped into my cell through the solid metal wall.
You realize that what you're saying is impossible.
To us it is. To them, nothing is impossible. Nothing. That's why we must act, and act now before it's too late. You must believe me, sir. This is man's last chance.
I'll do my best. Perhaps you'd better continue. Now, this Dr. Grove stepped through the wall.
Yes. As I'll tell the rest as quickly as I can. I can see that you don't believe me. But someone must, somewhere, sometime, someone must.
Lieutenant!
Well, as I said, Dr. Grove stepped into my cell through the wall. Suddenly, my panic ended. I looked at him now with awe. And we talked, not as man to man, but as man to a lesser creature. Me.
You must not be frightened, Lieutenant. You do not understand how I passed through a wall which to you seemed solid. And not understanding, you feared.
But
Yet there is nothing supernatural or fearful about what I did. Any of us can do it at will. You see, there is no such thing as a solid in this world of relativity. We know that there is plenty of room for the molecules of our bodies to pass between the molecules of those walls. We simply make a necessary mental adjustment and walk where we will. It is an ability as basic to us as breathing to a person like you.
What kind of men are you?
You have been educated, studied Darwin. You know the facts of evolution. You know how man has progressed through various stages from the primitive savagery.
This is a pretty good episode. Wanted to interrupt real quick. Just to show you what Lego can do with just the pieces that they have. Like this is, I guess the haunted house has an Egyptian theme in the inside, which is kind of odd. But there is an Egyptian. This is a like an amusement park haunted house ride. So it makes sense that there's some spooky stuff, and then they've got this kind of Egyptian type thing too. And this is a head of a pharaoh. Look at how they did that. If you can see that. And sideways, you can see the same thing. I mean, it looks just like a head of a pharaoh. I mean, it's just amazing what they can make. I think that's pretty cool. Wanted to get a close-up for you guys. Here we go.
Of the Neanderthal man.
Well, yes.
Obviously, this process can and will continue. To suppose that the evolution of man is complete with you is a mistake of conceit.
You mean you are the next stage?
Exactly. You have heard of the process of mutation, perhaps. How suddenly a white rose is produced of a family of red roses, and from then on produces only white descendants?
Yes.
So have we been evolved as mutants, infinitely superior to our parents and our fellow men, knowing by instinct right from birth what you must study years to learn. Your most difficult physics and mathematics, our ABCs. Our studies far beyond your understanding.
Are there many of you?
Yes. You see, the process has been going on for many years. Hundreds, thousands more come to us every year from all over the world, drawn here by telepathic message, where we have isolation to study, learn, build, prepare ourselves.
Prepare? Prepare for what?
For the task ahead. Obviously, when we are ready, when we are numerous enough to fill all the necessary positions, our superior intelligence must shape a new world.
Take over the world?
Obviously.
And you will destroy man?
How little you understand us. Do you destroy the animals of the field because they are not your intellectual peers? Our obligation is to keep and protect you, to act as your friendly guardians in a world which will be strange to you and frightening, as my walking through the wall was frightening to you.
I see. Yes, I see. Then what is your plan?
Rather say, nature's plan. And the answer to that lies in history. What became of the anthropoids, the cavemen?
They died out. Civilization passed them by. They fell before the onrush of higher forms of life.
Even so. Even so. But I give you our pledge that we will be kind. We will be kind.
And then he took me out into that great underground city, through its corridors and great halls and laboratories and shops, took me among the thousands of his fellow men. There I saw marvels of which I could talk for hours. There were... but they would be beyond your comprehension as they were beyond mine. You wouldn't believe me, and so I won't bother to tell you. Then I met others like us, some 200 captive cattle, people who had stumbled onto this island as I had. There were famous names among them. A famous author whose ship disappeared in the Pacific years ago. A big game hunter. A famous aviatrix for whom a dozen fleets had sought in vain. All of us, prisoners. We were treated with great kindness, made comfortable, relatively happy. We were their pets, you see. Their dumb animal pets. For over 3 years I stayed there. After a while, I ceased to struggle. Even in my mind, I was defeated. And so I succumbed to the peaceful, bucolic existence that was my fate. At least that's what I thought. Then came that last day. Dr. Grove had made me his special pet. I was allowed to follow him about at work, to talk to him at length. And on this day, he confided in me even more than usual.
Well, Lieutenant, it has been a pleasant day.
Yes, Doctor. Am I to go now?
Not for a moment. Ah, yes, I shall miss having you with me when I'm gone.
Gone? You're going away, sir?
Yes, very soon.
But where?
Out into the world, where you once lived.
But why?
Oh, there are many, very many of us there already. In strategic places, of course. An important politician here, an industrial magnate there, a famous author whose words are gospel to his readers. I will have my place, an important one.
But I didn't know. You didn't tell me that it's already begun.
Oh, yes, definitely. The hour is close at hand.
And then, all of us, the whole world.
Lieutenant, you know us now. You know that we will be kind.
Kind. Yes, kind. Suddenly, all the anger that was in me welled up. I didn't want to be a dumb animal, a pet for some superior being to be kind to. I didn't want that for my loved ones, my friends, my fellow men. That night at dinner when they fed the prisoners in a big communal hall, I got a chance to talk to Kavanaugh, my old radio man. He listened and then shrugged hopelessly.
They'll succeed, Joe. You know that.
No, not if the world could be warned.
I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't make any difference. Besides, how could they be warned?
If somebody could get away from here.
Escape? That's impossible.
I know, that's what I thought. But listen, I've got an idea. There's one chink in their invincibility.
What?
Their gentleness, their kindness. They can't bear to hurt anyone. None of their weapons kill, but only paralyze temporarily. And they simply cannot conceive of treachery.
What are you driving at?
This. I'm going to play on Dr. Grove's liking for me, his kindness. And I'm going to trick him.
How?
Tomorrow I'll ask him to take me up above, back to the plane, to get pictures of my father and sister. Tell him I'm lonesome, suffering. He'll do it. I'm sure he will. It's very kind of you, Dr. Grove, to do this for me.
Oh, not at all, Lieutenant. I understand your feeling.
With you leaving, I'd have no one close. The pictures will make me feel a lot better.
Oh, I only hope they're still here. The plane is partially demolished by the weather, as you can see.
Oh, they'll be there. They were in the map compartment. They'd be out of the weather.
Well, here we are.
Dr. Grove, look, over there.
Where?
Sorry, Doctor, but I had to do it. I hope I didn't kill him. He had been kind, but I hit him hard. Then I broke out a life raft from the rotting plane. I was almost afraid to look at it, but it was okay, even complete with supplies, 4 years old. I ripped the valve and threw it into the water. In 5 minutes, I was out beyond the breakers. I don't know how many days or weeks it was before they picked me up, but it was a long time. And I was more dead than alive.
Yes, Lieutenant, you were in bad shape. It was a horrible experience.
But you see, it doesn't matter about me. It's the others that...
Good idea.
No, Lieutenant,
I had one right
it's
over
been a
there.
pleasure to listen to your
For
story.
when I do review
I'll make a
videos.
report to my superiors. Please be patient and try not to worry.
Try not to worry.
Good day, Lieutenant.
Get out. Get out, sir.
Oh, there, Commander Gorham. You've talked to him? What's the verdict?
A clear case of persecution mania. An amazing form. I've never heard a tale more complete and logical.
Thank
but
you, D.
I know what you mean.
Well, do what you can for him. I'm afraid he's going to be here for a long time. Perhaps for as long as he lives. Turned loose, he might be dangerous.
That's too bad. Nice boy, too. But floating for 4 weeks on a life raft, and heaven knows what before that, it sure does things to a man. Well, Doctor, how about lunch?
No, thanks. I've got to run along. I have to turn in my report and recommendation on this case.
Oh, of course. Well, I'll see you later.
I watched the man disappear down the hall. I stood there for a moment lost in thought, seeing the face of that boy in there. It was hard to know how best to be kind to a boy like that, but I roused myself. I had much to do. So much. And if I went down through the lobby of the hospital, some fool would surely delay me, get me into a long-winded discussion, and I didn't feel a bit like talking. I wanted to get out of this place and forward my report that this Brady case was closed, that there'd be no more trouble from this source. My car was just outside on the street. There was no one in sight in the corridor, so I turned and quietly walked through the wall.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have presented transcribed Conqueror's Isle by Nelson Bond, adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Starred as Lieutenant Brady was David Ellis, as Dr. Gorham, Ted Von Eltz, as Dr. Grove, Bill Johnstone. Featured players were Sam Edwards and Dick Benedict. The special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure and be with us again next week at the same time, when we will bring you another great story of mystery and intrigue by one of the world's outstanding authors of high adventure, as CBS again presents Escape. Ronnie and Benita are two names that are as familiar to Jack Benny fans as Mary, Phil, Rochester, Dennis, and Don. And since Jack Benny has received thousands of letters asking that the Ronald Colemans be brought back soon, he's happy to present them as special guests on his program this Sunday. Hear the Jack Benny program on these same CBS stations tomorrow night.
D, what can I tell you except exactly that's what was missing. Like all the things I've built, all the Legos I've built, and I didn't think to have something like this to just move it around when I had to move from like the one side to the other, and then even to show you guys. I mean, listen, I can't thank you enough, and you can open it too. Yeah, let's see. You know what? It's still a little tricky because it's so wide. Let's see. Can I? But I can't raise it though. If I raise, well, let's see. If I open it up and I can tilt it a little, I don't know if that helps. You know what? That does make it a little bit more easy too. So yeah, no, that 100%. Thank you, D, for that. I cannot believe that was the one thing I was missing. And yeah, and I can even like kind of give you a closer view of here's the front of the haunted house as of right now. So yeah, but to build this thing and twist it around and move it, oh, unbelievable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Helps out a lot. Let's see. You can't open it up. No, I can. Yeah, it worked. So very cool. Okay, you know what? It's 8:30. Let's play one more episode. Let's go till 9. Let's see how far I can get. I've got 10 and 11. I didn't know how many I'd get through. I got 10, 11, 12. Boy, I mean, I'm going pretty slow here. I know it looks like I'm going fast, but I should have been through bag 12 already. I mean, this is stream 3, so. Anyways, whatever. So let's play another. Again, I'm just playing sci-fi tonight. I think it's just kind of cool. Here's another classic one, green splotches. Well, you know what? Actually, you know what? I'm going to pop out of sci-fi. How about that? Let's do the another really good one, the Abominable Snowman. With William Conrad, the Abominable Snowman. This is a classic, so here we go. Let's listen to that as I continue on. I will open up bag 10 and see how far I can get. So here we go. The
Tired
Yeti.
of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. So listen now as Escape brings you Anthony Ellis's exciting story, The Abominable Snowman.
Our first bit of luck was when we hired our Sherpa guide, Nasang. That was in Darjeeling. When I told Nasang what we were after, he hesitated for a moment. And then he said,
The Sahibs have not come to climb Shomolungma?
Oh, no, we're a little late for that. It's already been done. The other two Sahibs and myself are here for the reason I told you.
Meto Kangmi?
That's right.
The Sahibs always hire me to climb the mountain with them, but never this.
Are you afraid of them?
I have seen one.
You've seen one?
Yes, many of us have seen them.
Wait a minute. Alan.
Yeah. What's up?
I'm interviewing a Sherpa in here. He says he's seen one of the things.
Hey.
Where's Frank?
Went out to get some tobacco.
Yeah. All right, come on in. I think this is our man.
All right.
Nasang, this is Mr. Ferris.
Sahib?
Hello, Nasang.
Nasang was telling me about what he'd seen. Go ahead, Nasang.
It has a face that is evil. And when it saw me, it uttered a strange cry and bounded away. Sometimes leaping, sometimes running with great strides. It was dusk, and after a moment I lost sight of it in the snow.
Where were you?
With the French expedition. It was at 19,000 feet on Shomolungma.
How far were you from it?
30 feet, perhaps 35.
You're sure it wasn't an ape?
I am sure. There is no ape in the Himalaya to make such a track.
What about bears?
This too I have been asked. But does a bear walk always upon its hind legs?
Well, that's enough for me. Alan?
Yeah, he'll do.
Yeah. But if you want the job, Nasang, you're hired.
You are going to try to capture a Yeti?
Yes.
It will be a difficult thing, but I will serve with you.
Yeti, wild man, Netokangmi, abominable snowman. That's the name the natives had for the things, and Alan Ferris, Frank Davis, and I were going to try to get one. We'd all done some climbing, but climbing was secondary here. Expeditions since the beginning of the 20th century had heard of the abominable snowman, observed their tracks, and one or two white men claimed to have seen them. Great ape, bear, monkey, wild men, we didn't know, but we were going to find out. Four weeks later, we were in the Rongbuk Valley for our interview at the monastery with the Lama. The journey from our base had been uneventful, the weather was good, and our spirits were high.
Thanks for joining
From the
Square
Lama's
Eyes.
window, we could see the
Enjoy
great
build.
peak of Everest in the distance.
Why, gentlemen, do you desire to capture Netokangmi?
Because, sir, we believe it will be an invaluable aid in our prehistoric research. That is, if these things are in any way human.
And for this reason, then, you have formed...
Square Eyes Gaming. Just curious. So, what do you mean? What movie you guys watching? Nobody's watching any movie. I'm doing a live build of the Lego Haunted House, and as I'm building, we're listening to. I got this one last year. We're listening to an episode of Escape. It's called The Abominable Snowman. So that's what we're doing. Square Eyes Gaming. I got this one last year. Very cool. I'm catching up on everything. I've got a huge city with just about every modular. Doing an August update very, very soon on that city. But yeah, hopefully you give a subscribe. I'll check out your channel later. Channel's relatively new, but I've been on YouTube for 9 years. We're getting to 10 almost. Oh my God. But yeah, here we go. Back to the Abominable Snowman Escape
Expedition.
Yes.
You are all familiar with climbing?
Yes, we are.
You would need to be. The Yeti move at high places, dangerous places, so my people tell me. Also, the monsoons are arriving in a short time.
I understand that. Then do we have your permission to investigate in the valley and beyond?
You have my permission.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. There is one point, however. I must request that no wild animal or being in this valley be shot. Our religion does not allow it.
We'll respect your wishes, sir. Now, may I ask you one more thing?
Of course, my son.
Do you believe in the existence of Metokangmi?
I myself have never seen them, but I know that they live here, above the valley, on the goddess mother of the world. It is also true that at least 5, and possibly more, inhabit the upper Rongbuk and its glaciers.
Thank you.
Do you have porters?
Our guide Nasang is hiring them now.
Yeah. I trust that he meets with good fortune.
The old man, with great dignity, bowed slightly to us, and we were dismissed. But I thought I saw the shadow of a smile on his lips as he turned away. And it wasn't long before I found out why. Nasang returned to us in our quarters, and his face warned of bad news.
Sahib, I am unable to hire any porters.
Well, why not?
They know the purpose of the expedition. They will not go.
Why?
They are afraid.
Of the snowmen?
Yes. They live in peace with them. They wish no trouble. They are afraid.
Well, all right. It'll be rough, but we can't waste time talking them into it. The monsoons will be coming in a couple of weeks. It's not the same as climbing Everest. We'll travel light, just the 4 of us, set up a base and start hunting. All right with you fellows?
Yeah, sure.
Nasang?
I will go with you. I am not afraid.
Good. Well, let's take a look at the map.
Well, I've got all the
carry
modulars.
a capacity
I've got
load.
3
We should be
that
able
I
to
still
make
have to build.
This point below the glacier in 2 days.
Cafe corners
That's
over there.
16,000 feet.
Oh, jeez. Hold on.
And if our abominable snowmen...
Yes, listen. My city is pretty huge. If you look at the last city update, you'll see what I did. I put the lighthouse in, and the detective's office is going to be the newest additions. But I do have Cafe Corner over there, the firehouse, the fire brigade, and what's the other one I'm missing? The townhouse, or the townhouse. So yeah, not the townhouse, the town hall. Those are the 3 that I have to build yet. So those are the only 3. When those go in, I've got every modular that Lego has built up to date. So yes, I have them all. Anyways, and don't own any of the modulars, but I have them in imagination though. I have Dead of Winter board game at home. It's about zombies. Very cool. Gee whiz, thank you, Dino. Have never heard the Abominable Snowman. Okay, let me get back to it.
And are in the vicinity. We've got 2 weeks to find them.
When do we start?
Tomorrow.
Good.
Well, that's it.
Paul?
Yes, Frank?
One thing. What do the natives mean when they say they don't want any trouble with the things?
Superstition, probably.
Oh, no, Sahib. It is not superstition. It is because the Yeti are cannibals. That is why the porters are afraid.
The weather turned ugly the day we left the village. A cold Tibetan wind blew down from the west, and with our heavy packs, it took us much longer than we'd thought to arrive at the point just below the Rongbuk Glacier. We set up our camp and made ourselves as comfortable as we could. The next morning wasn't so bad. There was a heavy overcast, a promise of snow, and the peak of Everest looming over us was shrouded in clouds. The four of us sat in the tent looking at our charts and drinking hot tea.
I figured it'd be easiest if we started at the East Glacier. It's only about 3 miles from here, and with the weather as stinking as it is, we won't run too much of a risk. What do you think, Paul?
Well, that sounds all right. What do you say we split up? You and Nasang, Alan and me. We'll work up on either side of the ridge, here. And if we spot any tracks, fire 2 shots.
Yeah, good enough.
Now, the big thing, though, no matter what, don't shoot at the thing if you do see it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. If we lose touch with each other, we'll meet back here at 5. All right, let's get going. We'd left the base at 6 that morning, and the going was rough. Alan was pretty well shot by the time we got to the 17,000-foot mark. He was having a tough time breathing, and the wind had come up again. And with it, a fine, powdery snow that blinded and choked us.
Hey, I gotta take 5.
All right. Here, move over here. Might cut some of the wind.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, we might as well start back for the base. We couldn't see anything in this anyhow.
You know, right now, I don't care whether we do or not.
This is good weather. Wait until the monsoons start.
No, not me. Oh, I'm cold. I've never been so cold in all my life.
We stayed in the half shelter of an overhang for 10 minutes, and the wind was quieter and the snow had let up. I noticed that the tracks we'd made coming into the shelter were gone now, but we didn't have any worry finding our way back. I figured that Frank and Nasang had met pretty much the same thing on their side of the ridge, and we'd meet them at the base. So Alan and I picked ourselves up and started off.
Boy, I thought I was in pretty good shape, but up here, boy, I'm nothing. Paul, I'm tired again.
We'll just take it easy going down. You haven't got frostbite, have you?
No, not yet, but...
What?
The left there.
Yeah.
They're not our tracks, are they?
Not unless you took your boots off on the way up.
Must have just passed by. It must have seen us.
Yeah. Come on. We were looking at a set of tracks newly made in the fresh snow. And they'd passed so close to our shelter that the thing must have known we were there. They weren't the tracks of a bear or an ape, but more like a splay-footed, naked foot. The tracks of the abominable snowman.
We will return to Escape in just a moment, but first, 30 million school children make their way back to class this year. There are just 10 million too many for existing school facilities. Contact Better Schools, 2 West 45th Street, New York 19, for information on ending this menace to America's educational standards. And now, back to Escape.
swear that sounds like Dark Shadows.
We began to follow the tracks, and for a while, perhaps 150 yards, it was easy. And then the thing made a leftward traverse down a deep slope. We could see the prints clearly, angling with a sidestep, as sure-footed as a mountain goat, except that it was walking on 2 legs.
This way, Paul.
Take it easy, Alan.
It's getting steeper. Boy, that thing sure can climb.
Hold up. Alan.
I think
Hold it! And he dropped out of sight over the lip of the crevasse. We weren't roped together. I got as close as I dared to the edge. The loose snow crumbled away from my outstretched body. And I looked down into the blue-black darkness below, falling away into nothingness. He was gone. Finished. All I could think of was the noise he'd made when he went over. Surprised, angry, then silence. The crevasse might have been 500 feet, or 5,000. Snow started to fall again. Big flakes this time and wet. I stood up, and across the gap 20 feet away, I saw the tracks of the thing, continuing on and away until they became lost in the blank whiteness of the glacier. It had jumped and landed still upright on the opposite side. I went back to the base. And an hour later, Frank and Nassang returned. I told them, and we were quiet for a long time. Then...
Paul, are we going out again tomorrow?
Why not?
I just wanted to.
We should go back. It is an omen.
I tell you, he was going too fast. He didn't have a chance to see the crevasse. That's not an omen, it's bad sense.
Metokangmi cannot be caught.
We'll catch him.
But there are only 3 of us. If we had a few more men...
I tell you, the thing was so close that if we'd looked up at the right time, we'd have seen it. You think I'm going to give up now? Next time we'll get it.
There was no chance to get Alan out, huh?
No.
You think if we went back...
Listen, you think I don't want to? He's gone. I tried, but he's gone.
Okay. Okay. Wish that wind had let up.
Maybe by morning. We'll try again tomorrow.
It's got good atmosphere. You gotta listen to this in the winter.
It was cold that night, and somehow colder because Alan was gone. I heard Frank tossing around, and I knew he was thinking about a body broken and lonely, lost somewhere in a deep and dark place. In the morning, the 3 of us packed our gear, camera, food. It was a light pack, and we started up again. This time to a crest above the ridge. It was tougher than it looked, and we weren't even halfway up before we had to rest. And as I looked to the west, I saw clouds boiling up. Not white, but somber, threatening. And below, the valley looked grim, ugly gray. And then the sun was gone. And we kept on going up. And then I had a strange feeling. It was nothing I could see, nothing I could hear, only a sensation of being watched, followed. Wait a minute.
See something?
No.
I have felt it too, Sahib.
Something following us?
Yes. It is Metokangmi.
How do you know?
It can be nothing else. At this height, there is nothing else that lives.
Maybe it's curious. No, don't turn around, Frank. Listen. When we get up to the crest, you 2 flop down. Stay in sight of the slope here.
What are you going to do?
Move around the hump and watch. If it thinks we're all together, it may come close enough to give us a chance to get it.
You better watch your step. It looks nasty.
I will. Now, come on. It took us another 15 minutes to get up to the crest, and then Frank and Nassang hunched down to rest. They were in clear view of the slope we just ascended. I moved back out of sight and made my way toward the hump, which backed a long shelf on the north side of the crest. In a couple of minutes, I lost sight of them and of the slope. The wind had increased, and the clouds had spread now to become an iron gray canopy over the mountain. It was getting colder again. I don't think it took over 5 minutes to reach my lookout point. And when I did, I had a perfect view of the ground we'd covered. There was nothing there. The men were out of sight. And I waited. A minute, 2. There was nothing. Until... It came, carried on the wind, a cry and then shots. I scrambled back to where I'd left them. And when I got there, Frank was lying on his back. And I couldn't look at what was left of his face. There were terrible deep rents in his clothing, and he was dead. Nasang lay huddled a few feet beyond, a gun in his hand.
Sahib.
What is it? What?
Metokangmi. It came from behind us. Before I could draw the gun, it killed. Then it sprang at me. It is strong, Sahib, with the strength of 10 men.
All right, can you sit up?
My leg, it struck at me, my leg broken. I shot at it, but I missed. It jumped away and was gone.
Okay. We'll have to figure out a way to get you down. We were 4 hours from camp, and with Nasang practically helpless, it could well be 4 days or never. I buried Frank where he was lying, then began to work down the slope. Nasang was in great pain. He half slid and crawled as best he could. That part of it wasn't too bad. Then we were at the bottom, and there was a ledge to climb. It took well over 2 hours to do that, and we still had 3 miles of difficult terrain to cover. The stops became more frequent.
Sahib, leave me here. Go back.
No.
My leg is frozen. There is no feeling anymore. I shall not live much longer.
Don't be a fool. After a rest, you'll be able to go on.
Soon the night comes. If we are both caught here, we both die. There will be snow, much snow. Leave me, Sahib.
No, we're going back together.
Please, let me sleep. Let me sleep here. I cannot go on.
You've got to, Nasang.
No more.
The ridge is only about a half mile from there. It won't be too bad.
No, let me stay.
Nasang.
Let me sleep.
No, come on, Nasang. Come on, you're not going to sleep.
Sahib,
You'll be all right.
Behind you, Sahib.
I turned, and for an instant I saw it outlined against the snow, crouching, of medium height. It was covered with thick hair. The face was reddish and bare, a semi-human face, and it was not an ape. The thing made a tremendous leap and was gone, but I'd hit it. I knew I hit it.
Metokangmi, that was he. Did you kill it?
No, I don't think so.
Then it will be back. It has tasted blood. You must leave me.
No, get up. Get up, come on. Let's go. Nasang.
I am very sorry, Sahib. Will you ask the Lama to make a prayer for me?
Sure I will, Nasang, but...
Give my pay to my wife in Darjeeling. I'm sorry, Sahib. I die.
Nasang? And the darkness came, and with it shadows in the snow. Every hillock, mound became the thing, motionless, waiting. In my mind, I kept seeing it, its long arms, powerful, and the dreadful claws it must have possessed. I carried my gun in my gloved hand, but I knew that I couldn't fire it unless I was barehanded. And that meant my hand would freeze to the gun. And then suddenly I felt myself slipping. It was a short incline, but when I reached the bottom, the gun was gone. I'd lost it. I've got to find it. I've got to find it. And I saw a glint of metal in the snow 10 feet away. And at the same time, above me at the top of the bank, the thing. It stood swaying a little, looking down at me. I moved slowly, inched my way toward the gun. And as I drew closer, I kept my eyes looking up. But it didn't move, only stared down at me. And I thought I saw its little eyes glittering. And I thought, if the gun's frozen now, if it's frozen, it doesn't fire. And I was nearer to it, near enough to take off my glove. But that moment in which I'd have to bend to pick it up, that's when it would leap down at me, tear my throat out, tear, and I had the gun and I pulled the trigger. And it lay there, strange and terrifying, its blood staining the snow. And it looked at me. Looked at me. Until the sound died away. It was dead. But the eyes kept on staring. It must have been the shots that loosened the snow and ice on the ridge above. I heard the sound, and I ran. It passed me and swept on down toward the valley, the thunder of it dying in the distance. And when I went back, there was nothing there. It was buried somewhere under tons of snow. I made my way back to the Wrong Book Village. I don't remember how. I didn't remember anything for 2 weeks after. But I'm alive. And I'm not going back there again. That's all I know. Or want to know about the abominable snowmen.
Escape has brought you The Abominable Snowman, written and directed by Anthony Ellis, starring William Conrad as Lane. Featured in the cast were Anthony Barrett, Hy Averback, Jack Crucian, and Edgar Barrier. The special music for Escape was composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are a passenger aboard a submarine making its last peaceful voyage across the sea. While unknown to you, the captain has a plan, which, if it succeeds, will mean for you and the entire crew a fate from which there can be no escape.
So listen next week, when Escape will bring you Marion Mosner and Francis Rosenwald's exciting story, The Log. You're headed in the right direction. The station is right. The network is right, too. Check all timepieces and then check your local radio schedule. Let's have no slip-ups. Everybody wants to hear the Jack Benny Show right from the beginning when it returns to CBS Radio tonight. This is Roy Rowan speaking.
Okay, I'm going to end it there. Escape. That was a pretty good one. Abominable Snowman. Wish they would have interacted a little bit more with the Abominable Snowman, but as you can see, the chimney side is starting to come together, and that's going to be really, really tall. As you can see, the picture above me, it's going to be really, really tall. The chimney. I mean, this set is going to be that much more taller, so it is a big set. Yeah, and D, thank you for this little hint here to help out with building. I mean, this is, I'm going to use this for every build now. I didn't even think of that. I mean, it's not like there's a, you know, thing that says, hey, when you build, make sure you do that. But when you're streaming, yeah, this little lazy Susan. It works great. That one scared me, JLR. Okay, very cool. Don't forget to leave a comment. Yes, please, as soon as I stop streaming right now, first of all, make sure you give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Please tell your friends and neighbors to come over because, Dina, my friend, I like what we are doing here. It's the best of both worlds. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, it's just hanging out tall like the Sauron Tower. Not quite that tall. That's probably going to have a good 6 inches on this. I mean, that was huge, the Dark Tower. Wait till there's 1,000 plus members. Could get very dicey. Nah, it should be good. I mean, listen, this is the Lego community, but it's also the Old Time Radio community. It's all my friends from over there who do come over because we do play some Old Time Radio as we're building. And then the joy of seeing what I do and building the city and all that other good stuff. But AKA, what's up? That Lego set looks very cool. I'm getting the Marvel Shield. Captain America tomorrow. Very cool. Okay. Yeah, that's I haven't got, because I'm so much into the city, I haven't bought any like of the picture art or like Gotham City, the picture. I mean, that looks really cool. But the shield looks really, really good too. Stay tuned. Lots going on. Orange, what is going on? Kroos, good to see you, my friend. Just getting ready to wrap up here and asking, you're looking happy, Dino. I like happy, Dino. Brian Curry. Yeah, right. Thank you, Brian. Me too. It's not always a bed of roses, but, you know, trying my best. Anyways, threw me off there for a second. Yeah, this is coming together. So as soon as I stop the stream, please go ahead and leave a comment. Please just say you like it, whatever you would do. But I'm going to end it now, and either tomorrow I'll have stream 4. We will continue working on this until we're done. So either tomorrow or Saturday, but hopefully tomorrow. Just stay tuned for what comes up. And on the Late Horror Show, we got a good detective stream tonight. So there you go. Dino, you do you. That's the best you can do. Exactly. Happy Dino. Good Dino. Yes, Frankenstein. So glad some of you are coming over here. It's hard to get the rest of the Late Horror Show or some of the people over here. But slowly, I guess, very slowly, they're coming. So yeah, please comment, and I will see you guys.